looking for Klinsmann, ever aware of his presence. Klinsmann with it, turns, scores! What a goal!
Countries campaign very hard to win the right to host the World Cup because it is the biggest event in terms of sports in the world.
Why do people care about football? Like, what is exciting about football? And when I started to realize just how corrupt world football really was, that's when I got interested.
We met the source in a London hotel, and they were keen for us to go ahead, but there were conditions. They weren't just going to hand the information over to us. It was too sensitive, which meant that we couldn't have them in our office, and we had to go a long way outside London and view them on the computers belonging to the source.
Sepp Blatter is the twinkly-eyed, grandfatherly, white-haired overlord of world football, a man who's cultivated this kind of avuncular image, but who actually is a rapacious power broker.
Sepp Blatter was the most powerful man in sports for a long time, but when it came to making the most significant decisions, the executive committee had all the power. The executive committee, or EXCO, was a group of a couple of dozen of the most powerful leaders in world football.
It's incredibly powerful, particularly in relation to the awarding of the rights to host a World Cup, because that's a decision that is taken solely by the executive committee. They decide in a secret ballot, and they don't have to explain their decision or be accountable for it in any way.
If you were a country that was bidding for the World Cup, you were only focused on these 24 people and how can I make them like me more?
This was an unbelievable career. They go to World Cups and they stay there for 1 month, for 6 weeks. They live like in a paradise. They got the feeling they were the master of the universe, you know, not only of football.
Back in 2010, somebody had told us that there was corruption in the bidding for the 2 World Cups, which were 2018 and 2022. And what was extraordinary about this was just how open everyone was about the culture of bribery.
It can be paid in cash, otherwise it can be transferred. I didn't know whether it would have to go via the Nigerian Football Confederation, or it's better to go to you directly. Or
the whole organisation works like that. Yes.
There were 2 processes going on. On the one hand, you'd have the official Qatar bid, who did all the obvious publicity. They had the brand ambassadors and all that. And then you had the secret process, which was undertaken by the man who knew all the characters, Mohammed bin Hammam.
Bin Hammam knew that it was going to be very difficult for FIFA Executive Committee members to justify casting their votes for such a strange and outside candidate as Qatar. And so what he did was he went around the world forging alliances and doling out largesse to buy up the support of dozens and dozens of football officials across Asia and Africa in particular. He traveled to the Bahamas, he traveled to Cape Town, he traveled to Tokyo, he traveled to South Korea, and he would lavish them with spending money and private cruises and stays in 5-star hotels and incredible meals. And he would meet with them and ask them about things they needed and talk to them about the Qatar World Cup bid. And we could see that there were then these very intense flurries of activity in the Chemco accounts directly following those meetings, where bin Hammam's assistants would be instructed to dispense sums ranging from $10,000 to $200,000 at a time directly into the bank accounts of the very football officials he'd been meeting.
Kind of when you watch movies, you think of bribery and corruption like, you know, underground, in a tunnel, somewhere. So I remember being just very shocked, like not sure what was really happening. And I remember on the 2nd or 3rd time that this was repeating itself, I just started laughing hysterically because it was obviously at that point I understood what was happening, that this was bribes. There was hacking into my Gmail accounts, into my Facebook. I started getting threatening emails about my children, so I was very scared. I'm a single mom, and this is the richest sporting organization in the world and the richest country in the world. And I know there were no limits.
It's a competition between states, so the whole state apparatus is devoted to securing the World Cup.
There was intelligence that there had been a dialogue going on between Russia and Qatar.
I just remember what a very prominent member of the Qatar organizing committee told me. I said, we played the rules of FIFA. You have to blame FIFA and not the countries. Neither Russia nor Qatar. They had no choice. They want the World Cup. They have to play the FIFA rules. The FIFA rules are dirty. So where is the problem? It's with FIFA.
You know, I don't know if they paid because I have not seen. But in football, to get the World Cup, everything is possible. Everything is possible.
The winner to organize the 2022 FIFA World Cup is Qatar.